hospital, and then Matt's going to share about Gregory. Um, so recently, we attended the Lancaster City Planning Commission meeting, and they agreed to postpone their decision, right, to whether or not to recommend it. So that was something to celebrate, right? Of course, we're going back January 15th. That's a guarantee. And so I did some reflection on that meeting. I really honestly wish the meeting was filmed so that everyone could go back and look at that. But I did a lot of listening. And I listened to the chair of the City Planning Commission ask UPMC, would UPMC be okay? Would they think about allowing us to use the facility like as it is right now, right, for certain things for the community? Whether it's the kitchen to use for certain things, whatever, right? And so they asked that question, and UPMC obviously answered in a way to protect itself, and went up and was starting to talk about, oh, but see, there's something with the system, and I believe he was referring to probably like the HVAC system or something, but he really kept insisting like the way it is, XYZ, it can't really be operated as a hospital, they would need to fix this, fix that, whatever kind of thing, right? Is how he was sort of talking. But he was really amplifying it on, because of that, it would need to be up to code to run as a hospital. But that's not what she was asking. She was asking, would you let the community utilize the space right now as is for things that we need, right, in the meantime. And the way it's currently zoned as a hospital, I started looking at what can come out of that with its current zoning and the current property, right? It could actually be utilized as a homeless shelter based on its current zoning and actually the way it's built, And I believe someone kind of, that's what I thought. You kind of like were saying something like that. And so it just really like got me thinking like on some of the ways that we need to come together on and really like fight back against UPMC. And it's a fight that we definitely need to continue. One of the things that we have realized, and one of the reasons why we actually established a Lancaster County Homeless Union, was because during the fight around this hospital, we realized that, one, in order to win, and two, just because we couldn't address the issue of healthcare really without addressing the issue of housing and homelessness. So our fight around that hospital is to really secure healthcare and housing in that space. And then obviously specifically more for the poor and dispossessed. If you understood the history of the hospital, we do actually have a 3-part blog series up on the People First website that talks about the history of the hospital. It talks about its spiritual and religious connection to the community, and it shares a little bit of our fight around it, and also the personal connection. And we even shared a very interesting letter to the editor that was in Lancaster newspapers within that 3-part blog series. And so that 3-part blog series was kind of put together by seeing the reactions of the community and felt the need to write and put that together. And I reflect on what the father said during the last sermon that took place at the hospital. You see, it wasn't just a hospital. It was also people's church. The chapel wasn't just some little, chapel. Have you seen the pictures? I mean, it's beautiful, And so when he shared that sermon, and what he says about St. Joseph, no matter what, the spirit of St. Joseph is always going to reside on College Avenue. That it's so much more to the people. It's not just a building, and it's not just a piece of land. It has a very rich history. And it became a hospital because the community came together, because the community came together and supported the nuns to make that a hospital. And they struggled, no salaries, they scrubbed the floors, they did the laundry, they ran the pharmacy, they took care of the patients. And there was even an interesting story on how they actually connected with a particular Amish man who then supplied them with soap for years. That story is very sweet and telling. And so the spirit of St. Joseph's and the history and what it means to the community, that's what we're fighting for. That's what we're fighting for when we say, take back St. Joseph's. Because it wouldn't even have been what it was if it wasn't for the community rallying around and really supporting making that a hospital, you know. One of the other things that the father said at the last sermon was he talked about how, he called them my favorites, but what he talked about was the homeless that the nuns used to let sleep on the first floor, I guess while they slept on the first floor. I think that's before it got too far established or something. But just knowing that that even took place, right? Like that says something in itself. And I really hope the community, what's that?
That's historical precedent.
Yeah, exactly. And so I just am hoping that it inspires people to really like want to fight back and dig in and fight back against UPMC and hold the local power holders accountable, hold statewide people accountable, and let's really dig into this fight and take back what's ours.
That's right.
Because St. Joseph Hospital is ours.
That's right.
UPMC owned it for like a little over a year, and then they closed it. Like, it does not belong to them. It never really did. It's ours, and we need to take it back.
That's right.
And so I just wanted to kind of share that a little bit today, you know, about the hospital. It's got a really rich history, and I really think that that's something that people should look into more to really like understand. Because if you're going to dig into this fight to take back St. Joseph, you have to understand what it means to the people. I think that's really important.